Hey everybody, Dave Gary here. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. It is that time of the week again, the 5 things I learned this week. And what did you learn this week? I know a lot of stuff went on this week in the news, well, in your business world, in your private life, your personal life. I don't want to know the details, but you know what? Let me know. What did you learn? It doesn't have to be 5 things, but what did you learn this past week? So let me get started. Thing number one, first thing I learned this week is that it still surprises me and it baffles me that there are adults that are still afraid of needles. What does that say? It obviously has to say something about the human condition, or it has to say something about the psyche of an individual. Now, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I do not play one on TV, but I do understand that, there's fears and phobias and they exist for a reason, but do they exist in the workplace? This is 2014. They cannot exist in the workplace. Personally, I see it as not as a sign of weakness, but a sign of lack of confidence, lack of self-confidence. It's just a needle. It's just a needle. No matter for whatever reason, an immunization, you're traveling overseas, it's a vitamin shot, something a doctor gives you when you have the flu, or it's even a flu shot. But what I'm getting at is it's just a needle. Very thin, almost painless now. I should know, I got my flu shot this week. But what I'm getting at is that what else is behind that? And is that something that you want in your organization? Again, people with self-confidence issues. And as an owner, as a manager, as a leader within an organization, are you afraid of needles? Or is it something else? And is that what's holding you back? Or overcoming that fear, will it move you to the next level? More than likely it will, because again, if something's holding you back and you let it go, it's up to you. The second thing I learned this week is that lately this thing about Ebola has been in the news, and its outbreak in Western Africa, and in the individual that flew back here and then wanted treatment, and then the subsequent 2 nurses that got infected while treating that one individual. And I don't know how it's like in your neck of the woods, but where I'm at, the media has just gone crazy. And but what I'm getting at is that they are looking for something that's not there. They are looking and they're hounding. They're basically disrupting the organizations and the agencies that are tasked to do their work in my neck of the woods, and these are federal agencies, and this news media is just putting an undue burden on them. And what am I saying? Well, they're constantly asking them, is Ebola here? Do these people with masks on, do they have Ebola? Is that why they're sitting there isolated from everybody else? And it's like, they're trying to make mountains out of molehills, and it's not good for them. It's not good for their organization, their news organization. It's just not good, and it's not good for the people that are going to listen and hear the stories, and they're not going to pick up on anything other than Ebola, and it's here. And that's it. They're not going to hear anything else. They're not going to hear the true sentence that was actually said by a representative or a spokesman of the organization. Ebola is not here. Not. They're not going to hear that. They're going to hear everything but the word not. And that, my friends, is not a good thing, because what that does is it creates panic, and panic is not good. In any organization, in any situation, the truth is the only thing that's good, and especially in a crisis situation, you get to it, you get to the bottom of it, and you do not do anything to spread more rumors. You actually go against that. You work hard to fight against the rumors, and you work hard to squash those individuals and those organizations that are promoting and exacerbating the situation to create rumors, all in a sense of trying to get them to, ratings. And that's not a good thing. Bring them attention. Bring them advertising dollars, because, hey, we're getting ratings because we are exploiting. We're going to turn worse than TMZ, or worse than the National Enquirer, for those of you that remember that. So again, that's not a good thing. The third thing I learned this week is that people will disregard their own protocols in order to be right. They will forget anything and everything that they've taught themselves, that they've learned, and that they hold others accountable to. And they will do whatever they want to just to be right. Now, what I'm getting at is that there will be times and there will be individuals that will put themselves in situations knowing fully well what the ethics are behind it, what the attention to detail means, and why those things have to be applied constantly, and yet they'll still cast them aside only to further their own agenda. And that, my friends, is not a good thing. And it's not a good thing. Well, unfortunately, it happens in politics. And is that the accepted norm? Well, it is, but it shouldn't be. But is that the accepted norm in business? No, it's not. Because again, cutting corners, casting aside protocols and standards and ethics is not a good thing. And that definitely will come back and bite any organization right where they don't want to be bit, but it will happen. So again, don't disregard your ethics. Don't cast aside your attention to detail, your protocols. Above all, don't cut corners, is what I'm getting at. Thing number 4. Every opportunity you get to interact with others is a great opportunity to form a stronger bond with others. Now, this is over a telephone conversation, this is a face-to-face meeting, over coffee, over lunch, over whatever. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you exploit that opportunity to make it a better and a stronger interaction, and to further future interactions and involvements and coordinated efforts and whatever else you're trying to do. But again, get to know somebody. Break a little bread, drink a little wine, share a cup of coffee, whatever. It doesn't matter. Get together, exploit it, get to learn, talk to each other, see what good stuff comes out of it. And I trust you. You'll start seeing the good stuff. But I also guarantee this: if it's not meant to be, you'll know it right away. No pulling punches. You'll know what's going on. The 5th thing I learned this week is that employees should never, ever have to be in a situation where they have to fear their employer. Never. That's not right. They should always respect the employer. They might not respect the individual, but they should respect the position. After all, they don't respect the person that hired them. They don't need to be there. Those employees don't like the person who hired them. They need to be gone because something's wrong. And I'm not talking about the employer. I'm talking about the employee. Because again, if the person that hired you, and this is actually the person that's right there with you, that you report to, that you answer to, and this is not some HR department hiring group, and that's all. No. If this is the person that you're working with and you report to, and you've lost all respect for them, then guess what? You do not need to be there. Because that individual, the hiring supervisor, is there for a reason. Because somebody trusted him or her to be there to do the job. If you find yourself in a situation that you've lost confidence in that individual, you know what? I really have to say, you know what? Go ahead and resign before you get booted out. And why do I say this? Because again, you resign, you leave on good terms, you might actually get a letter of recommendation out of it. But if you're booted out, folks, it's not pretty. And getting booted out will not get you a letter of recommendation. I guarantee you that. Now, anything else as far as fearing your employer, really there should be no reason to. There should never be a reason for your employer to create fear inside you, to instill fear. Your employer should never threaten you, oh, hey, you're going to do this or you're fired. You know, it's happened in the past. It will happen in the future. But those are the kinds of organizations where it comes back and bites them, and karma's going to get them. And that's an organization you do not want to be with. So be careful. Know what you're doing. Don't fear your employer, but respect your hiring supervisor. Respect the one that actually hired you. The one who signs the paycheck, well, you know, respect them too. They sign your paycheck. Or they approve, or they press the approve button when it comes time to do payroll. But hey, you know, you take care of what you need to take care of. But for the most part, if you find yourself that you're not respecting your boss, you're not respecting your leaders, you're not respecting your managers, you know what? It might be time to go, and go before it's too late. It's a little harsh this week, but there's some serious realities behind it, folks. And again, it's just the way it is. Sometimes there's good weeks, sometimes there's bad weeks, but you know, as a leader, as a manager, as the go-to person for your organization, you're the one that sets the tone. You're the one that says, hey, let's make this a good week. So my thing to you for next week, go make magic. And until then, have a good week. Drop me a note, dave@daveguerra.com. Tell me what you learned. And as always, please follow me on Twitter @DaveGuerra. And until next time, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. See you next week.